Who's there? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Just grab my coffee. Am I the right way round? I hope so. Well, there we are. We have 2 people and 2 thumbs, which is good. That's more thumbs than I get for most videos. But there is no chat. So that might be because I have left a 60-second delay because there are people there. I know there are. Yeah, a few more dates, so been a busy week, however, few problems with supply in China, trying it on as they do. Oh, Jackstar is with us, or was with us, I don't know. Hi, Glenn. Glenn, sorry we missed you this morning. It was an impromptu one. I didn't know I was going to do it until a couple of minutes before I did it. But it could be the way forward, these impromptu ones. Jackstar, yeah, I'm here. Hey, Jack, where have you been? Starting to worry about you. I haven't heard from you for a while now. I thought maybe you were off on your trips to India, but I know you're not because I just read you. Just read that you were there. Evening. Nosy neighbour. What's happening there? They've all gone up. Closing the loop. Hi, hope you're well, mate. Yes, I am very well, mate. I hope you are too. David, President Sick Ricky. Okay, that doesn't mean much to me, but there you go. Raving and misbehaving, Jackstar. Well, I hope so, mate. I would be very disappointed if you were doing anything less. I like to think you're keeping your end up for us. Adam Fente, evening, friends. Hello, Adam. How is Sickerhill? We've got a regular circle going on here now, haven't we? Which is very nice. I don't know if any of you saw the live stream I did this morning. It was funny because I hadn't occurred to me that it was like evening time in the UK. I thought doing it that time, I might, because most of my, I think 55% of my subscribers are Americans. And I don't think 7 p.m. Filipino time is very social for them. But I get quite a few hits from the American audience on my films about 3, 4 in the morning. So I thought I'd do that. And who did I get? The usual crowd. Tim was there. Jim was there. It was, yeah, so there you go. Adam Fente, hey buddy. Jackstar, Backstar. So what's happening, folks? Don't think there's much I can tell you that has changed since the morning's live stream, so I'm relying on you guys to keep me talking. Oh, I always get hilaro over the things that they're saying in the last comments. So when Adam said that, I thought he said, hey, Jackstar, Backstar, which I thought was funny, but he didn't see. He said, Jackstar, hey, Jackstar. David, UFC's Raw UK versus Moonshine. Okay, again, still none the wiser. You are a cryptic kind of guy. Glenn, still brilliant UK weather. Yeah, I've heard that. I've seen a couple of vloggers who were sunburnt today. Closing the loop, I'm Australian. Do you have many subscribers from Australia? I do, about 12%, I think it is. I haven't looked for a while, but the demographic was always between 45 and 55 Americans. And about 10% British, 10% America, sorry, UK, and the rest the Philippines. Jackstar, so what's the update or follow-up on your health, buddy? I haven't done anything, mate, to be honest with you. I'm sitting on it at the moment. Literally. I'll explain why in a minute. David Fukuoka Busan, I don't know what's going on here. I think this guy might be a I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, David. I'm hoping you're not what I think you are, but you're probably going to prove me right. Adam Fenner, been almost 1 month for me here in Siem Reap. Been great so far. I'll be pausing on the drinking nights though. Had too many of those over the past month. Yeah, mate, I know the feeling. This is why my beer in a chat has turned into a coffee in a chat, because it's unnecessary. You know what I mean? I've turned one of my dry nights into a drinking night, and there's no need for it. So I think I'll stick on the coffee until there's a week when I don't go out, and then I might have a few drinks. But I just talk too long, and I don't shut up when I've had a beer, and I don't think it adds to it. Are you still enjoying Siem Reap though? In answer to your question, Jack, about the health, I'm pretty sure it's just a swollen prostate, because that's what I've always been diagnosed with, always had. And I have not been filled with faith with the experiences people have told me over here, because I think it will take quite a lot to get to the bottom of what it is. And I think if I go to a urologist over here, they're just going to send me for scans and pointless tests and all the rest of it, just to come to the conclusion that I have an enlarged prostate, which I already know. So, and the symptoms have subsided quite a lot since then. So I may change my mind. If it flares up again, I might go. But, you know, the reality is, when I was in the UK, when I first got this problem, they didn't know what it was. They diagnosed me with chronic abdominal pain, and I had various scans and things, but I never had an ultrasound. But I went to see a consultant 3 or 4 times and got nowhere. It was only when I was in Thailand and they did the ultrasound there that they diagnosed it as an enlarged prostate, and they told me I had cancer. And then I had the blood tests and I didn't. So I'm just thinking, if I went for all that rigmarole in the UK and they couldn't come to a conclusion, is it not going to be the same thing over here with a doctor I have less faith in, where you have to pay for the tests? But anyway, that is my thinking at the moment. Because you know, the condition's not changed. I've had an enlarged prostate for, I don't know what, about 6, 7 years now. And each time I've had the tests and things, they told me I've got enlarged prostate. So I think the problem before was that my symptoms had got worse and I hadn't had a test for a while. Like, I'd skipped a year. So I was kind of like, well, you know. Anyway, I think you get where I'm coming from. Jack Star, yeah, got to have a few dry nights. You do, mate, you do. Because it's pointless. And on average, I'm probably having drinks 3 or 4 nights a week now, going out. So I think it's not bad to have, you know, an equal amount off it. At least that's my thinking at the moment. It may change. Chasing Luke, most of my subscribers are from the Philippines and Vietnam. So I'll be coming back over to the Philippines in July to make some more content. I'll have to check your channel out. I will have to check your channel out. Interesting thing is, I seem to have a lot of subscribers in Dumagetti. I don't know if that's a regular thing, but I know a couple of guys who have got YouTube channels which are bigger than mine. And I was talking to them the other day and they were saying, don't get recognised half as much as I do. Because it's like, literally, whenever I go out, I'll get an a shepherd's pie and all this. And it's quite surprising when I do the live streams now. I've got a lot of friends that watch them that I didn't think, you know, watched them. So I don't know. I think a lot of the YouTubers really have got an American audience. I've got to say, I think I'm up to about 30% Filipino now, which I think is quite unusual, but I might be wrong. Jack started in front. What's the date in an expat scene over there? Good. It was good when I was there. Adam, I am moved into a new apartment on Thursday, which is great. I'm still working, so focusing the summer doing deep dive into crypto as well as losing some weight. That's my plan for now. Losing the weight's a good idea. Not sure about the crypto, but there you go. That's just me. I'm an old bastard. Australia's seen as elderly, 80s Asian lady. Oh, I don't know why I'm reading his comments. Glenn, did they tell you how big, if you don't mind sharing? Which time? I mean, they didn't tell me this time because of the blood test. No, the last time the doctor, a UK doctor, he did the PSA test, and he was going to do the old, but then he said, look, because it was the first time I've been to see this GP, he said, asked me to go to the toilet when I come back. He had this scanner, which he put on my stomach, and it can tell how much urine you've got left in there. He said, can you go to the toilet? I came back, I had a pee, then he put it on there again, and he said, yeah, you've still got about a quarter of the urine still inside. It's because your prostate's enlarged and it's pushing down. He says, there's really nothing to worry about. Well, we'll do the PSA checks every year, but until we get a high reading, you know, it's nothing I would ever worry about. That's what he said anyway, and that was the last one I saw about it. But I would have had a measurement in Thailand, but I've got no idea what it was because they did an ultrasound there. Jackstar, Adam Fente, funny, you should mention that I'm purchasing between 50 and 100 units. Well, there you go. You were all on the old cryptocurrency. Not for me, that. I am probably missing out on a great opportunity, but you know, you can't be in everything. Adam, Jackstar, vibrant expat scene has plenty of Westerners, both men and women. I do see foreign guys with Cambodian women. The culture here is very conservative. It is very conservative. It is very conservative. It's very different. And the nice thing about that place is you don't have to go after Asian women. I probably can't now. I'm older. I'm too old. But in my younger days when I was there, I used to like the fact that I could go down Pub Street and if your game was good, you could hook up with backpackers, which was always nice. But I'm probably a bit past that now. All the backpackers would be of an age where I wouldn't want to hook up with them, but there you go. Jackstar, Adam Fente, sounds good, buddy. If you haven't been there, Jack, you should try it. It's a nice place, Siem Reap. A good night out there. Go out early, get a lucky pizza. Have a nice, strong, happy pizza, and then hit the Pub Street. Always fun. Glenn, I've always avoided crypto too. Yeah, it's not something. I'm not going to get into the reasons why, because I know a couple of guys in Sydney. Well, my old mate Paul was heavily in crypto, and he was always saying how fantastic it was, and he'll make this and that over the years and things. But I don't know. I can just see them. You know, I take the view that they banned gold. Was it Franklin D. Roosevelt? I mean, there are things they can do. You know, if it ever gets too big and it starts challenging the banks, I can't believe that the governments on the world aren't going to come down on it. But there you go. Although the people I've said that to will tell me they can't, but I wouldn't know what to invest in. And I kind of think I've missed the boat on the old crypto now. Well, there we are. Well, we have 8. Not many joined the party tonight. Maybe I wore them all out this morning. Maybe that is the negative of doing 2 live streams in a day. Adam Fente, will the coffee impact your sleep? I don't know, it may do. I drink a lot of coffee, which is not good for the prostate, apparently. But I don't know. I'm kind of nocturnal at the moment. Today, I tend to stay up all night. I went to bed about 8 o'clock this morning. That's why I was doing that live stream, because I couldn't sleep. And then I got up about 2, so there's no way I could go to sleep now. So, I mean, I won't get to sleep until the very late early hours. So I will stop drinking coffee a few hours before I go to sleep. But Jackstar, the way I look at crypto, as I'll be mining it with my hydrogen fuel cell, so electricity is next to nothing for maximum profit. Oh, you're mining it, are you? Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you were buying. You know, you were dabbling in it. But there you go. Well, don't forget to wear your hard hat. I had a friend who was mining in Caerphilly in Wales. Went round his house once, and he had all these computers on it going away, which was stupid really, because he was growing something in his roof, which is why I went round there. And I thought at the time, if the old bill come round and do you for what you're growing in the roof, I'm sure they're going to seize all your mining equipment as well, because they're going to say it's profits of... anyway, there you go. So tell us about these dates, Jack. Tell us about these dates. I want to know what you've been up to on the women front. And you, Adam, have you? What have you done on the woman front over there? You're talking about Pub Street and that. Presumably you've met some young ladies over there, haven't you? Some young backpackers. Apparently, if you want to meet Kumar girls, the best place is supposed to be massage places. Never tried it myself. I had a few massages over there. They're not as good as the Thai ones, but I've met a few older guys over there and they say, oh, if you want to get yourself a Kumar girl, she'll cook, she'll do this and that for you. I said, well, not really. They say, I'll go to the massage places. A lot of them there, they can't speak English, but that's how you meet. I knew several people. That seems to be the way to meet women in Cambodia. Or so I was told, certainly in Siem Reap. Mate, been jiggling 3 dates at the minute. Been jiggling or juggling. So been busy, stayed with nurse for a few days. Well, good for you. I think that's a good idea. I've got a good feeling about you and that nurse. And she'll keep an eye on you. She'll take your temperature. She'll make sure you're well. But juggling 3 dates at the same time. That, gosh, it's a long time since I've done that. Just the thought of it now makes me feel tired. Considering that you're a year younger than me, aren't you? Or a year older, around the same. You're doing well, mate. It must be those 10-kilometre runs and that you do. Your yomping has kept you... and I have no desire to date as of recent. No idea. What are we talking about dating? I'm not talking about courting here. I'm talking about... I think you know what I mean. Had too many girls last year, so I need a cleanse. Now I don't like you anymore, Adam. You told me that. I'm jealous. Actually, I'm not really. I found in my older years however, I do really like one who's 44. Wow. That is, well, there you go. Nothing wrong with that. Each to their own. 44. I don't think I've ever gone out with Gold. I've had a one-night stand with one a lot older, but that's a long story. Mate, I broke 20-kilometre walk yesterday, so I'm happy. Wow. That must take a long time, though. I tried to get into running a few years, well, many years ago, when I started boxing, because my mother was a runner. I mean, she was really serious about it, and she reckoned it would be in the genetics. But the thing I stopped doing it for was it takes so long. I mean, she ran marathons. You literally had to put aside like 60 hours a week, you know, for training runs and things, just, you know, to keep up, to get to the level. And I thought, sod, this is too all-encompassing. It's not the sport for me. And it's not much fun, you know, running around. I mean, it'd be fun winning races or placing in races, but it takes a lot. But I'm thinking, how long does it take to walk 20 kilometres? For a busy man, you, yeah, that must take a lot of your time up. But then again, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe you can, when you walk along, it gives you your business ideas, clears your head, gives you time to focus. I don't know. But there you go. Do you have a Bergen on when you do it? Yeah, mate, same age as well. I'm 54 in July. Okay, so you are 5 months older than me. There we are. Well, you're doing well, mate. If you've still got that drive and you're still doing that, you know, because me now, I'm settled down. Like my, if I was a split out of Ellen, I'd probably take a few weeks off the scene, to be honest with you. I wouldn't rush straight into a relationship, into dating. Or maybe I would, I don't know, maybe I'll get lonely. Glenn, yeah, training for anything takes time. Yeah, but I think running more so. I mean, if you're doing your weights and things, you can get away with a couple of hours a day, a rest day, you know what I mean? It's, well, most sports. But things like golf and that, I mean, people tend to enjoy that, don't they? Not my sport, but running just to train, no, not for me. But fair play to those who do it. Each to their own. Jackstar, I do a lot of walking, like 0600, then a night walk. Does clear my head. Good walk around a lake and along a canal. Well, that is good. That is good. I say if it does, I can see the clear in your head bit, because I often find when I'm trying to mull problems or things, if I sit there trying to work them out, I will get nowhere. If I start doing something like, you know, washing or some kind of housework or just anything else and think about them, it will suddenly, you know what I mean? So I can see how running or walking will give you a lot of time to concentrate. Joe in Pie 2025 live. I am alive and we are live. Thanks for joining us, mate. Adam Fenner, are you guys staying in your current house or hunting for a new one? We did look at a couple, but they weren't as good as this. And Ellen was going through a stage of showing me stuff on the phone, like, what about this, what about this? And I just kept saying no, because as I've said before, I'm not moving for the sake of it. And they were no better than ours. And to be fair, now you've said that, she hasn't asked in over a week now. I mean, it hasn't shown me any pictures, so. I mean, the road's the road. There is an alternate road, a back road and that. If those roosters had been a problem, then that would have done it for us. But it's amazing. This morning, you could hear roosters on the stream, but they were the neighbours' roosters. They've always been here. The ones that are, the hordes of them that are down there, you can only just very faintly, if you strain your ear, strain your ear, you can just about hear them. You've got to walk 100 metres down the road. I think the houses must block the noise, because if you walk straight down our road, when you about 100 metres, they're really loud. It must be terrible for the people that live over there. But it's not been what I thought it would be in terms of forcing us out. And I really do love the month-to-month here at the moment, the fact that we can go anytime we want. It makes you feel freer, Glenn, especially with today's tech, you multitask. Especially with today's tech, you can multitask. Yeah, well, good point, Glenn. I find it hard to multitask with tech, though. It's got to be something like washing. I find I get some of my best ideas when I do hand washing, which is why we haven't got a washing machine. I mean, Ellen does the vast majority, but sometimes I've got something in my mind, I'm trying to think about something that I can't crack in my mind. Just fill the water up, put the clothes in, bit of powder, suddenly seems to come to me. And I just leave them in there, she can finish them off. Jackstar, Adam Fente, you trade in crypto or short long-term holder? Adam Fente, maybe they sent the roosters to Jollibee. Yeah, maybe they do. I don't know if they are. Some of them did look like chickens over there. But I would have thought the chickens here, they probably battery farm, wouldn't they? I mean, it's not a country, sadly, where they're into animal welfare particularly. So I don't know why they would keep chickens under those little things. Almost free range, even though they're tied to ropes. So they must be roosters. But when I looked at them the first time, they didn't look like roosters. Is Trevor Harvey there? I haven't seen him. Oh, Trevor, congratulations on your win, mate. I was hoping you would pop on tonight. Well done. Very happy that you beat City. You deserve it, mate. I didn't realise it was your first major trophy. Congratulations. I hope you got to see the game and you enjoyed it. Just been 2025. Good to hear from you, Simon. Are you missing your mate? Brent's tripping. He's back in the USA helping his son on farm. Yeah, I miss Brent. I don't really, don't see an awful lot of Brent anymore. Well, he's not here anyway. But no, I mean, I'm friends with Brent. I like Brent. When I do the music quiz, he'd always come along and support us on that. And I'd see him out occasionally. But every time I see him, we always say like we'll have to have a dinner or go out with the girls and that. But we never actually do it. But when he comes back, I mean, I think he's coming back. He told me he was coming back. I don't think he's going to be over there too long. But I haven't looked at his vlogs recently. I really should do. Jackstar, hi Trevor Harvey, hiya pal. Ooh, tell us about Japan. There we go. He's an authority on Japan, Trevor. He's been there a long, long time. Adam Fonner, I'm still deciding on my crypto game plan, but I'm preparing for a next altcoin bull run. Thus far, my outlook is that Bitcoin is a never sell and everything is a trade. Well, there you go. I don't know anything about it, but I think you're right about the Bitcoin. I think if it ever does come to what it is, I think it will be Bitcoin. From the very little research I've done. The other stuff, I think people are just, it's a bubble. But what do I know? Trevor Harvey, thanks for Palace tribute. I have waited my whole life for the FA Cup. Well, I'm glad you did it. And I'm glad you, very great to beat City for that. You know what I mean? That was, I don't know what the betting odds were, but I bet you would have been big underdogs for that. But I'm glad you did it. There's nothing worse than going to a game like that. I know you didn't go and losing. I went to the West Ham Liverpool FA Cup final when we lost on penalties, and it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking. It wasn't penalties, was it? It was anyway. Yeah, it was penalties. Was it penalties anyway? God, I'll tell you, my mind's going. I remember Lionel Scaloni kicked the ball out. Gerrard equalised. No, it was penalties, wasn't it? But anyway, that broke my heart, and it broke my heart as well. I went to the Millennium Stadium when Palace beat us in the playoff finals. God, we went up the next year, didn't we? Beat West North End, but yeah, never given you Palace boys for that. But on the way back on a limo from Cardiff when Liverpool beat us, I was a broken man. Jackstar, Adam Fente, yeah, hence me mining and holding. There we are. There can't be that many left to mine, can there? I mean, what percentage of Bitcoins are left available? Glenn, Brent's presently looking at return flights, shocked by prices. Shocked in a bad way, presumably. Well, I hope he's using a VPN. I'll have to message him. Ace, what's going down? Not a lot, mate, not a lot. Thanks for joining us. Trevor Harvey, yeah, I was there in 1990 when we lost to Man United, after a replay. Yeah, it's awful, isn't it, when it happens? Glenn, yep. Well, we're up to 12. I think we got up to 20 this morning. It's thing about this morning is I couldn't read the actual numbers, who was in the top, but I can read them tonight, which is nice, because my phone had to be the other way around. I think maybe when I do the next live stream, I will set it so you can post every 30 seconds, because the normal setting is 60 seconds, and I think that's why we get these backlogs. Adam Fonte, have you eaten anything recently that surprised you in Douma, for better or for worse? Well, I went to a party on Sunday. It was a guy's birthday party, who I know. I didn't know it was his birthday party. And he's a great bloke. He's from Bethnal Green. And it's the first time I've been around his house. And he's got a lovely house. He built it himself. But he invited me during the week. I didn't know it was his birthday party. He just said it was a get-together. But his wife did the cooking, and they've been together. She lived 28 years. She's lived in the UK, and she made shepherd's pie, and it was gorgeous. And we had apple crumble for dessert. It was a mind-blowing meal. It was fantastic. So yes, I have eaten something that surprised me just on Sunday. It was shepherd's pie. I did a little video, not at the house and the people, because I don't know if the guys would have liked me doing it, but I did video the shepherd's pie, but that was bloody nice. Been a long time. Joe Inipi. I have been to Wembley Stadium over 40 times. First in 1971, Liverpool v Arsenal. Well, there you go. That's a lot more than me. I've been to. Haven't been to Wembley many times at all. There was a period when we were at the Millennium Stadium a lot when they were rebuilding Wembley, because we made it the 2 playoff cup finals. And we had the FA Cup final. I think there was another game we went there for, but I liked the Millennium Stadium. Not really a fan of Wembley or the old Wembley. It was so far back, from the pitch. I used to buy Tesla stock before Robotaxi is launched in June. Okay, there we are. I won't be buying Tesla stock, I tell you that. Trevor Harvey, I've been in Japan 19 years. Yeah, you've got to give Jackstar the lowdown on the women. He's been asking, mate. I thought he'd been there longer than that, but I know you've been there a long time. Joe Pinney, I live in Balaton, Luzon, only 2 foreigners there. No banks, no McDonald's. It's rough going. Well, I wouldn't miss the McDonald's. I would miss the foreigners, I think. Fair play to you. I've lived that lifestyle when I was in Thailand, in terms of no expats around. But I didn't mind doing it in Thailand. I would not want to do it in the Philippines. But if it works for you, brother, it works for you. Banks must be a bit of a pain. How far is your nearest ATM? I wouldn't miss McDonald's, though. I must admit, I can take or leave McDonald's. Jackstar, I think you the live you did this morning would be a good time also. Yeah, I tell you what, I'm just going to do it all the time now, because I get bored. You know what I mean? I was bored this morning. I thought, why not give it a go? But you won't be there, mate. You'll be out womanising. I had no idea it was so like, so early in the UK, because when Tim came up and said, "Hi, how you doing?" I thought it must be like 4 or 5 in the morning. So it was only like 9:30, 10 o'clock. Glenn, glad the UK nosh went well. Yeah, it was gorgeous. Good. She's a great cook, and it wasn't just that. It was a perfect meal, because there was nice salads, but there was shepherd's pie, Bombay aloo. Haven't had that in a long time, and there was a chicken curry. And there were a couple of other things. It was really nice. Nice guys, lovely house. Built it all himself, designed it all himself. And he's got like a lovely courtyard where we were eating outside, which has got like anyway, it's hard to explain now, and it's all claret and blue inside. It's got me thinking about building a house now. Trevor Harvey, Philippines only 4 hours from Tokyo, so I go often. Is it 4 hours, is it? Jack Star, Trevor Harvey, wow, 19 years. Adam Font, I can't believe it's almost a year since I was in Douma. I really enjoyed the restaurant, 1988 Bistro. I haven't been there. I had a friend who was staying in the hotel next to that. But he's left today. I think he's eaten there a few times. I have to check that place out. Ace, why wouldn't you buy Tesla stock? Well, I'm not a fan of Elon Musk, but I don't buy those kind of stocks. I'm in passive funds. You know, I just invest in passive funds. I don't know enough about stocks and things and I don't profess to. And I know there are lots of stockbrokers out there who have spent their whole lives doing it and still make mistakes and things. And I got a couple of friends, or I did have in the UK, who had their own independent stockbrokers, and we'd sit down sometimes and chat. They had a lot more money invested than me, but most of the time my passive funds were outperforming theirs. You know, so it's not. I just don't pick particular stocks. I've got stock portfolios, but I don't know what I'm invested in. I know the areas, but I don't know what the shares are. Nicholas, Shepherd's Pie, good afternoon from Chelmsford. Hello mate, how you doing? You're in Chelmsford now, are you? You were in Brick Lane last night. You do move around. I like Chelmsford. Is Duke still there? Has it changed its name now? You used to have a terrible, I say terrible, I had some good nights there, but it was a terrible nightclub, Duke's in Chelmsford. I used to like going to watch the cricket as well in Chelmsford. I had a mate who lived just on the back of the ground. Jack Star, Nicholas Haypal. Trevor Harvey, best thing is women have their own money in the Philippines. Before Japan, I lived in Australia for 12 years. Best thing is women have their own money in the Philippines. Before Japan, I lived in Australia.
You met Japanese women.
How do you know you meant Japanese women? Ellen suddenly appeared.
Because you commented.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nicholas Jack Star. Oh, we are. Daniel Morgan. What is the thing you miss most about the UK? Ellen's about to say I know. She knows. What is it then?
Apple crumble.
Apple crumble? No, it's not. I don't really miss anything. I don't miss anything. There were things, I'll tell you what, if it came down to food, I do miss a good doner kebab. A good doner kebab and a good chicken tikka masala. So it'd be food. I mean, many moons ago, I'd have said it was West Ham I missed, but I have never been to the new stadium. I had a season ticket at Upton Park for 15 years. I missed the bowling ground, but now that's gone, and it's, you know, the Olympic Stadium, what it's called now, the London Stadium. I've never been there, so I can't miss it, and I don't want to go there. So that would have been something I would have missed if they were still at Upton Park. But yeah, no, I don't miss the UK. I've got nothing against the UK, but I don't miss things. If I missed, I'd go back more. You know, it's Trevor Harvey. I mean, Japanese women have their own money. That makes more sense now. They age well, educated in Tokyo, and well educated in Tokyo. And in fact, I think the thing is I love most about the Philippines, you never know what you're going to get. You could strike gold or eat shit. I found some awesome restaurants at times. Awesome restaurants in Dumaguete, really. I found some not bad ones. I don't think I've ever found an awesome one. Ken, tell us more. Put some names down. We'll try them out. Ken McCollan. Good day, mate. Sorry I'm late. Well, listen, mate, don't be sorry. You've made it to 2 now. You were there this morning, weren't you? You're a glutton for punishment. You've come back for more. Trevor Harvey, I see that might be a nice change. Glenn says, hi, Ellen. Trevor Harvey, I miss humour from the UK. Well, I give you a bit of humour. I don't know what that means. What is humour? You spent too long out of the country, mate. You forgot how to spell. Well, that's British humour, Ellen. Nicholas, caught last night while I was having a curry with work colleagues in Brick Lane. I I woke in the city. You're not woke, are you? I work in the city and live in Chelmsford. Oh, that must be a bit of a commute. I don't miss that, I tell you. Adding fun, yeah, you need Indians for the tikka masala. There are a decent number of them to Cebu City for nursing school. You can find a decent Indian restaurant there. Yeah, the trouble is with the Indian restaurants over here, I think things like cream and they're so expensive. If they made a chicken tikka masala, a proper one like the UK, they'd probably have to charge 1,000 pesos for it. Because things like sour, I know they don't have sour cream in there, but I'm saying things like sour cream and cream like that over here cost a fortune. So I imagine they think if they actually made the proper one, marinated in yogurt and all that kind of stuff, it would cost too much for their menu. Because all the curry houses around here, there's very little on the menu more than 400 or 500 pesos. And I don't think you can make a chicken tikka masala, proper one for that, over here. Ace, it's great you don't put on the silly accent at expats talking when they speak to Thai people. Do some people do that in the Philippines too? Or isn't it necessary there? It sounds ridiculous. It's funny you say that, because I've got a couple of older mates. My old mate Ray used to do that. He'd talk to you, and then a Filipino woman or something like the bar, and he would talk to them. He would speak in English, but he would put this accent on. He's like, "Oh, you are looking very lovely." I can't do his accent, but it just sounded ridiculous. I said, "Why are you doing that? You're still speaking English." And then after he had a couple of drinks, he'd turn around and he'd talk to me in that accent. I said, "Why?" And he'd forget what he was doing. But it's just like, yeah, a lot of people do that. They talk to a Filipino and they just put on a ridiculous accent, like they try and talk, a Filipino. Why are you pulling faces, Ellen? You know Ray always used to do that.
What?
Ray.
Ray who?
Ray Klein. He'd talk to me like, "Good day, digger," and then he'd turn around and he'd, "Oh, you look very beautiful." He'd put this strange accent on when he's speaking English.
I didn't hear it.
What do you mean you didn't hear it? You used to laugh at it. You've got a terrible memory, sweetheart. Glenn misses Brick Lane. We all miss Brick Lane, mate. It's not what it was. I don't think, anyway. I mean, I've not been there for a long time. It was going downhill. There's had some great Indians down there. Good place to buy a leather jacket back in the day. Trevor Harvey, yep, your mate's taking the piss and fighting over which football team is the biggest. Yes. Adam Fonte, I wonder if there are any dairy farms in the Philippines. Well, apparently there is one up in Siquijor, not Siquijor, up in Valencia. A mate of mine a while back said to me one day when I was out in the bar, he said, "Where do you get your milk from?" And I said, "The fridge." And he said, "No, where do you get it from?" I wasn't being funny. He said, "Where do you get it from?" I said, "Well, to be honest with you, I use powdered milk most of the time. If I get it, but I get it from the supermarket." And he said, "Well, there's a guy up in Valencia who does fresh milk." He says it's expensive, but it's good, really fresh milk. And I never asked where he got it from. I think I was with other people at the time. It just kind of went over my head, but I don't really miss it. But I suppose there must be a dairy up there in the mountains, unless he imports it from somewhere. But there's a lot goes on up in those mountains. There are a lot of things that you can get if you know where to go and that. But I'm a man of simple needs. Ken McCulkin, I was watching Dad's Army, hence I'm late. I can't read the bottom of that. Sorry, chaps. There's no need to apologise. Mate, tell you, if I had a choice between watching me and Dad's Army would win every time. I love Dad's Army. I haven't watched it in a long time, but it is timeless. It does not age, that TV series. I'm just warning you now, chaps, because I'm on the coffee, I will not be going past the hour mark tonight. I've got quite a lot to do tonight for the quiz and things to get it finished, because I want to go bowling tomorrow. So I cannot have a late one. And I'm going to make some videos tomorrow. I've got to get back on it. Adam saying, it seems like to find quality staples you need a guy. Yeah, everyone needs a guy. You all need to know a guy who knows a guy. That is very much how it works in Dumagetti. And there seems to be a guy who knows a guy to get anything in. I will not elaborate any further. But nothing seems to be a problem here if you want it. Thankfully, I don't want a lot of those things. Glenn, it's like some American tourists. If foreigners can't understand them, they just shout louder. Used to crack me up. Does me as well. Although saying that, I did find, yeah, my mate Frankie had a girlfriend, and she could never understand what I said. She found it incredibly difficult. And in Pattaya, in the early days, I knew a couple of women over there who could not understand me at all. And one day I did an American accent to take the piss out of someone at the bar, and they said, "I can understand you now. Do that again." So whenever I spoke to them, I spoke in an American accent. And Eleanor remembered this. We were up in the Kingswick one day. I was there with Ellen, and Frank was his girlfriend, and she couldn't understand a word I was saying. So I said, "Well, let me try this. What I'm trying to ask you is where you come from, up in the mountains. Do you have some kind of shopping facilities or a mall or anything like that?" And she understood me straight away. So from that point onwards, when I would talk to her, if she couldn't understand me, I'd put on and it didn't matter what American accent it was, she'd understand me. So explain that. Trevor Harvey, they don't like it when you stick it up them, the fuzzy wuzzies. No, they don't like it up them. They don't like it up them, mate. They don't. Said Corporal Jones. That's all he wants. Yeah, don't like it up them and don't panic, don't panic. He was the least funny. The one I found, the funniest character, I found Walker funny, and I found John Mazurier funny, and Captain Manwin. They were the three that always cracked me up. And what was the Scottish guy called? I never really got, can't think what the bloody bloke's name was now. What was the name of the guy who played Corporal Jones? Dunn, something Dunn, Clive Dunn. Yeah, he never really did it for me. I mean, I didn't dislike him, but he was never a character that particularly made me laugh. I thought it was a bit stupid. But it's a relationship between John Mazurier and Captain Manwin that is and the best line ever in comedy ever is, "What is your name? Don't tell him, Pike." I mean, I always laugh when I see that clip. Adam Fente, that southern accent is gold. Now I'm convinced you moved in the UK in your youth. Well, there you go. You got me. I did. I grew up in the south. But they understand you when you talk like that. I've done it a couple of times over here, and I feel an idiot, but it's amazing how they can understand that, but they can't understand me. Glenn, I found Pike boring. Yeah, he didn't. It was funny, the relationship he had with the dad, who obviously was his uncle, but yeah, no, he wasn't particularly. He never really delivered the lines. I mean, he delivered a line. It was a reaction from the captain, and that would make you a stupid boy. That would be the funny part of it. Southern accent, I thought he was having a stroke. There we go. I won't take offence at that. I put a lot of work in that southern accent. Trevor Harvey, if you want an English teaching job in Korea, you need an American accent. Is that right? I know a couple of guys, friends of mine from school, who taught English in Korea, and they left after a year. They spent a lot of time in China, didn't like it, did not like the Koreans. I've never been there, but I reckon they were incredibly arrogant and looked down on the teachers and just weren't nice people to work with. I've got no idea whether that's true about the English teachers or whatever. I don't doubt you, Trevor, I've never heard that before, but it's not something I've ever thought about doing. I know a regular guy, he taught in South Korea for a long time. There we are. If someone doesn't say something soon, I'm going to start doing accents. That will get rid of people, won't it? What? What are you saying?
Do it.
You want more accents? You're not watching. I'll do an accent if you come and say hello. Come and say hello. Why won't you say hello? Come on now.
Did you want that?
I know it is. I don't know these bloody people. Just come over here. Come over here. I'm asking you to come over here. Don't make me shout. Come over here and speak to the people. Joe Peony 2025. We go to Brits live on YouTube at the same time, Simon, and Grumpy Brit John both doing lives at the same time. Oh dear, am I clashing with old Grumpy Brit John? I didn't know that. It's never occurred to me that other people might be going live at the same time. I don't care. I know. I'm sure they've got a lot more than I've got. Glenn, spent a while in Korea, some good, some bad. I'm sure we're the same any country in it. Philippines is in need of Korean tourists. Their numbers have dropped. They love the Filipinos. The Filipinos love the Koreans, don't they? So it makes me laugh about these younger guys when I've done videos about women liking older men over here. They seem to think, because they're like ripped and they're young, they are the God's dream to Filipino women. I tell you, they're not. The dream to Filipino women are Korean boy bands. They love Korean boy bands. Same in Thailand. You know, they have got Korean guys on their walls. They haven't got Western guys. I don't think so, anyway. Well, it's nice someone's doing a bit of building work over there. Jackster, so buddy, what are your plans this week? What are our plans this week? Well, nice of you to ask. Probably going to go bowling tomorrow. Thursday's the quiz. Might take the girls out for something to eat on Friday. Not sure yet. But on Saturday, going fighting. Got a friend of ours, Dingo. His son is kickboxer, and he's competing in a competition up. What's it called? Not Tanhai, in Talai, just outside Dumaguete. And we've all got ringside seats. I think there's about, there's a lot of us going. Must be at least 20, I would have thought. And that starts in the afternoon. So we're going to be on it. We're going on a pub crawl and then we're going to watch the kickboxing, which I'm really looking forward to. I think that'll be a very nice day, particularly if it's sunny. I do like my combat sports. And there's a really good crew going, so it's going to be a good day. I'm looking forward to that. I will do a bit of a vlog, guarantee you that. Sunday, I don't know. Don't really have a lot this week. I mean, last week we're not going out quite so much now. We've got Kayla with us. And when we do go out, we tend to do more family things like the water park and all that kind of stuff. But so I don't know. We'll see what she wants to do on Friday or Sunday. But Saturday is a day for the chaps. And if anyone is watching who's in the Dumaguete area, I have a spare ticket, a spare ringside seat. A friend of mine has knocked Dumaguete on the head. He flew out to Cebu today, and he's left his ticket at the hotel reception for me to pick up. So I do have a spare ticket going. If anyone is watching in Dumaguete who wants to come and watch some kickboxing at the weekend, let me know. Glenn, are you having backseat driver issues? No comment, she's looking at me. And she's only just stopped. She's been sulking the last couple of days. It's been a right nightmare to live with. So the last thing I want to do is upset her again. So, oh God, now she's upset. Ace, when my Tesla stock goes high enough, I will retire. In around 2030, I will come to the Philippines and buy you a beer. Well, I don't know if I'll be here in 2030, but if I am, I'll rip your arm off, mate. I will accept I'm looking forward to you buying me a beer. I will have a beer with you, and I'll be very happy to, especially if you're a multi-millionaire there through Tesla. I hope it works out for you. So I know they just like Korean money in Angeles. Yes, well, they like Koreans in Pattaya as well. And I will tell you why, because there were a few Korean bars and Chinese go-go bars, and I knew quite a few bar girls over there, because well, I just did. I was living there, and apparently they like the Koreans because and the Japanese because they tipped, and apparently they're quick. So there you go. It's Adam, Korea definitely came on the global map in popularity for the past decade, especially since Gangnam Style. Before that, it was Japan. Yeah, I think you're right, but can I have a coffee, please, my lovely?
Sure.
God bless you. You're a wonderful woman you are. I'm so lucky to have you. Smile. Why are you hiding? Strange woman. Strange woman. Sometimes she's camera shy, sometimes she's not. I don't know why she's being like that at the moment. But there we are. Yeah, I've never ever wanted to go to Korea. I don't know why. I used to love the idea of going to Japan. When I first left the Air Force, I really got into my martial arts. I was obsessed with martial arts, and I was going to like 4 or 5 clubs a week. I was doing Wing Chun on Mondays, and there was a dojo, oldest dojo in the UK, in Leicester. It was downstairs one, and they spoke Japanese, and I was doing Shotokan twice a week, and I was doing Shorin Jiu-Jitsu. I was obsessed with martial arts. Because that's the way I am. I get obsessed with things for a few years, like scuba diving, and I just knock it on the head. But through that time, I was reading the books and going back to Okinawa, where all the karate started and all that. And my dream was to go to Japan and move there. But then you just fall out of love with it. And then the UFC came along, and then you realise that it was all bullshit. That, karate wasn't fantastic, and it wasn't this and it wasn't that, and it was basically mixed martial arts was the way forward, and a lot of the philosophies were full of crap. And I lost interest. And from that point onwards, never had any interest in going to Japan. But there was a time when it was my dream. For a few years as well. I was into Bushido. I loved the whole concept of the samurai. But, anyway, strange how things changed. But I have never had that feeling about Korea. Probably because I know they eat dogs over there, which I do not approve of. And Taekwondo's crap. It's a stupid martial art. But there you go. Why are you pulling a face like that? Taekwondo is a stupid martial art. It's all kicks. It's like taken to the ground. It's pointless. It's all strikes. And it's off-balance strikes. Ellen's pulling face at me. I don't know why she's a Taekwondo fan. Jack Star. I seen Simon Jackstar travel raving, misbehaving and not getting any trouble, honest. Come on, guys, hit the like. Yes, hit the like, please. Hit the like. Someone said that this morning. You're watching. I've got 17 people watching here, and I've only got 6 likes. And people say the more likes, spreads your videos around. So yeah, if you're watching and you're not liking, you should be ashamed of yourselves. I'm being funny, Ellen. I mean, I'm joking. I don't really mean be ashamed. No, you should be ashamed of yourselves. I do mean it. Anyway, get back in the kitchen and make my coffee, woman.
See this?
You can't do that. That's assault, and I'm on camera. If you throw that at me, I'm in trouble. Goldfinger's gay lover. I'm selling Mark Thornton commemorative coins. Anyway, Trevor Harvey. They say Asians are 333, can work it out, LOL. Right, I'm going to have to work that out. I'm terrible at multitasking. Glenn, I'm flying through Korea in November. I hope to God you're not, mate. I hope you're flying over Korea. If you're flying through Korea, you've had a problem, mate, and you'll be missed. Let's hope that doesn't happen. What airline are you on, for God's sake? Adam, I've been really interested in Philippines history recently during my travels. It was cool learning about the legacy of the Chinese Filipino community when I was in, well, there you go. That's one of the things I've disliked the most about the Philippines, but it hasn't really got any history, is it? I mean, it's not like, Thailand and a lot of countries, we can go back thousands of years. It's kind of, we have a tower in Dumaguete, which is not particularly impressive. It's a Spanish watchtower. I've seen it from afar. Apparently it is the oldest structure in the Philippines, which blows my mind that there's not something of more historical interest. I mean, there's cultural interest here. I can understand if you're living on an island and you want to learn about history, but nothing much seems to be documented before the Spanish got here. So, historically speaking, if that's your interest, I think the Philippines is quite lacking in a number of ways. Nothing against the Philippines. I love the Philippines. We're up to 9 likes. Thank you. Thank you, chaps. I appreciate those. I'm still asking myself why there are at least, I'm going to hazard a guess, 15 out there who are watching but not liking. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Trevor Harvey, Tokyo is easy to live, but not small towns. They are too conservative and against foreigners. Yeah, one of the things I got another like, thank you very much, chaps. One of the things I like about the Philippines is you get the general impression they want you here. Now, I know it may be an act. Now, obviously, there will be some that don't. There will be resentment amongst some people. There will be jealousy. But on the whole, you are wanted here because of the money. you know, now you could take a wider view and say that expats have got house prices up and all the rest of it, and we're not good for the area, but the average Joe who's got a cafe or a restaurant or whatever, and you go in and eat there, they're not worried about that. They're worried about the fact you put business, you know, money into their business. And, you know, when you go out as a white Western male, customer service is generally very good. And so people, you know, will stop and say, hello, sir, how are you, sir? Hey, there you go. The guy who's given me his thingy ticket, I can't get him off now. Lachlan has just sent me a thing. What are you trying to do, sweetie? Well,
It's hot.
I know it's hot, but why don't will it pass it, put it on the floor? God, she's trying to scold me here. She's trying to scold me with this boiling hot cup of coffee. And I've got a friend of mine, Lachlan, has just sent me a thingy, so his head keeps bouncing around the thing. He's the guy who's given me the ringside ticket. Now, Jack Star, come on, you're a very wealthy man. Why don't you just jump on a jet and come over for the boxing at the weekends? You say the Chinese are mucking you around. I saw that in the thing and that. I know you got dates and that. You could jump on a jet Friday, get a private jet, of course. You could make it work. You could be here for Saturday. I'll meet you at the airport and we'll go and watch the boxing. And then you can fly back the next day. You might miss a couple of dates, but wouldn't it be an adventure? A jet setter like you, it wouldn't be too hard to do. Glenn, Asiana. Now, I know you fly Asiana. You told me before, mate, I was joking. It's when you said flying through, as in through. Yeah, I know you meant like stopping the airport. I've never flown them. I've heard of them, though. I don't know why I said I hadn't heard of them when you mentioned them before. They're one of the cheaper airlines, aren't they? They're partnered with someone else, but I have heard of them. But I've never flown them. Trevor Harvey, 3,000, 3 minutes, 3 inches. Ah, now I've got the 3-3. So tell you what, that's the kind of thing, if you hadn't told me that, I'd completely forgotten your comment, to be honest with you, because I'm terrible at multitasking and I'm talking to people. But no doubt, about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, just as I dropped off, I suddenly wake up and think, 333, what the hell was he talking about? Now, I'll sleep well because I don't need to. My God, that's a hot coffee. What have you done with that? How have you made that coffee so hot?
4 minutes.
4 minutes? I usually get 1 minute 30.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Then it's not hot. That's why when you make coffee, you make
Anyway,
coffee in the
our
morning.
kettle blew up the other day, and I'm too tight to get another one at the moment. So I make my coffee in the microwave. I just put it in the heat up there. I give it 1 minute and 30 seconds, and it's fine because we've got a powerful microwave. She's just put this on 4 minutes, and my hands have melted to the cup. It's like, good God, this is too hot to drink. There we are. I will get a new kettle, but I think it's pointless, to be honest with you. I find, getting up, putting water in the kettle. Now I just put it in it's easier. She's an incredible knack, Kayla. She's wonderful. I love having her here. She's been fantastic. But she breaks things. She's broken... Kayla.
Oh.
She didn't actually break the kettle. But the stuff we got through this week, we had 2 fans. She managed to break both of those in the first week. The rice cooker the other day, she plugged it in wet. That blew up. So that's why I've not bought the kettle yet. It's like every day I'm like buying a rice cooker, I'm buying a fan or whatever. It's impossible to keep up with her. It's like, you wake up in the morning, you think, what has she broken now? And I say, it's just because kids do stuff like that. I mean, she's very great. She's running around, she's watering the plants, even though they don't need it. The garden's taken off and she's doing housework and things and being handy. But my God, she breaks a lot of things. That's the reality. But there we go. Right, I'm losing track of these melting coffees. I'm losing track of the old conversations on here. Right, okay. Joe Ford, up your hammers. Go on, you rip roaring ice screwing irons. Hello, Joe. Welcome to the chat, mate. Always nice to talk to fellow iron. I said to a guy when I was at this thing on Sunday. The guy's from Bethnal Green, and I wasn't the youngest there, but a couple of his mates were like old. I've not met him before, and they were in the 80s, because he's like 73, it was his birthday, this bloke. I say he's from Bethnal Green, he's a West Ham fan. And this old guy sat down, I think he was 85, and he was from London as well. And I turned round to him like halfway through. I said, I haven't asked you yet, mate, but you and Iron. And he thought I meant, was he a puff, Iron Hoof? He said, no, I've got a girlfriend. I was like, he's like, so there you go, anyway. It's, Trevor Harvey, that's right, Japanese don't need your money. Yeah, Glenn, totally agree. I worked in Japan from 1980, often in small places. It was very difficult. There you go, well-travelled chaps. Adam, there is a rich history pre-Spanish, but the Spanish imported their story. Google the Golden Tara of Butuan, Mindanao. When I looked into that, I was shocked. Seemed like Hindu Buddhism relics to me. Oh, they are. This was a Hindu country. I did a thing on that. I was researching ladyboys once for a channel. Why was he researching ladyboys, you ask? Because I was amazed how there were so many ladyboys in the Philippines. Because in Thailand, you're used to it. It's a very fluid culture there. They're Buddhists, but this is a Catholic society, so 80% Catholic here. So I'm thinking, why the hell are there so many ladyboys? So I googled it, and it's because, according to Google, it was a Hindu culture at one stage, and there are two Hindu gods who sometimes they were men, sometimes they were women. They transformed in different, different depictions of them. And that's where it all comes from, because Thailand was a Hindu country many years ago, before it was a Buddhist country, particularly where I was. So why up there, while we lived in Petchabam, it was very hard to get beef. There was only one market stall that sold it. There were a lot of vegetarians there. I mean, they were Buddhists, but they were still a Hindu influence. So yeah, I know that this was a Hindu, or a lot of the islands were Hindu at one stage. But that's about the extent of my research that I've done, to be honest with you. Lachlan's coming back. Nicholas, there is a funny Irish YouTuber called Alpha Omega, and he recently made a blog about not being appreciated in Thailand, just tolerated. Did you have that feeling when you lived in Thailand? It depends entirely where you live. I live in Pattaya stroke Jomtien, yes. I think you might get that feeling in a lot of the cities, but not where I lived in Petchabam. I was a star there, and I really was a popular guy there. Not because I'm great, although I am, but she's looking at me now, that's British humour. But I was the only expat there. There weren't expats. I was the only one in our village, and you had to go 6 kilometres. Well, there was one other guy about 3 kilometres away. So a lot of people are there. A lot of the people, I might have said it before, my girlfriend's uncle who lived next door, he had never travelled more than 30 kilometres from his village. And a lot of people had never left the village. A lot of the girls had. They'd gone down and been bar girls and come back up again. But most of the guys never had done, apart from some had worked in Bangkok and some had worked in Korea or whatever. But I was a novelty. People thought it was great. People would come round, would bring people around to meet me. So they'd say, come and meet the Farang. So no, I was very welcome there. And I felt very welcome when I was in Buriram. But again, it was another little village. But certainly in some of the cities, there are a lot of Thais who are very, very anti-Farang these days. And I can understand why. But that's why, there was a Doon who was the health minister. He's the one who legalised weed. His movement, whole thing was about getting us out. He was blaming Westerners for coronavirus, and we were dirty and we were all this and that. So there is a lot of that over there, yeah, without a doubt. But it depends on the city and the place and how many expats and that are there. So yeah, I know where he's coming from, but that's not everybody. Glenn, nor me, but I had a UA credit in their partners. Oh, right, that for the flight, yeah, you're part, yeah. Well, it's good that you got credit, mate. It's I do like a free flight. I like a free anything. Nicholas, I've been watching Alpha Omega vlogs. I can't stop laughing. Made me sure to not have kids in Thailand. Oh, I think I've seen him. Is he the older Irish guy? He's bald. He's probably about my age kind of thing. Yeah, I've seen him. I've watched him a couple of times. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's very rare when someone mentions a vlog, I actually know I know who he is. Ace, does anyone remember the YouTuber The Good Farang? I don't. Jackstar, the vlog he did about the Phils being the friendliest in the world, why doesn't that reflect in customer service? As lots of people mention that it's an issue. Intelligence, I'm afraid. That is the reality of it. It's going to sound bad now, but the average Filipino is not particularly bright. And there is empirical evidence to prove that. The average IQ in the Philippines is between 80 and 81. I've seen a couple of sites who said it's 83. And it's the education as well. So it's not that they just seem to struggle in certain environments. So it's like, it's not like the service is because you're a Westerner. It's just sometimes the service is bad. You will get 4 or 5 people in a bar or in a supermarket or whatever who just don't know what to do unless people, as in supervising that, are there to tell them. It's just the way it is here. They're nice people. They will smile, but they find some of them. Don't get me wrong. There are exceptions. You'll meet some very intelligent Filipinos, but that's what it is. It's lack of training, and it's sounds terrible saying that, but honestly, trust me, it's true. I've done a bit of research on it, and I've spoken to people who've been here a long time. It's not. It amazes you when you watch things. Some of the things that in other Asian countries are just solved like that. You'll have something would happen, like I can't think of an example there, but you'll have 4 or 5 people standing around just looking, haven't got a clue what to do, and then someone will make a suggestion and they'll spring into life. It's like when ages ago I was here at a bar, in one of the bars. This girl knocked a thing over and it fell, this glass thing, it smashed on the floor, and she just stared at it. It was a bottle of wine and a thing, and she just looked, and then the other one looked, and she looked at the customer. I know the guy it was for, and they looked and they looked, and then someone else came out in the kitchen and looked, and there was like a minute when no one did anything, and I watched them, and then the guy said, "Why don't you get a brush and brush it up, put some cloths, but brush the glass up first, and then put the cloths on it, and then just take it away and get another one." And as soon as he said that, they sprung into life. It was like, it was the most obvious thing. What do you think? What's the problem with it? It just phased people. And you see a lot of stuff like that over there. It's weird. Jack Star, what's your take on that? Well, I've just told you my take on that, mate. It's like that's the thing. Like, that's why it's difficult to get things done in banks and things over here, because you'll go in and they will have seen the instruction and they haven't understood it, and they'll say, like, you can't get that because you have to have a 6-month visa. And then you'll say to them, well, I don't have a 6-month visa because there aren't any 6-month visas anymore. And they'll be like, oh, well, I don't know what to do. And then you'll say, well, can I read what it actually says? And then they'll show it to you. And you'll say, no, it's not saying that you need a 6-month visa. I think you'll find it's saying you need to have been in the country for 6 months. And they'll be like, oh, okay, we can do it then. But unless you're nice to them and you explain to them and you stand your ground, it's just confusion. Everything's confusion over here. They don't get it, and things aren't updated and things aren't changed. It's like when I was talking to immigration a while ago. I said I'd read something on the website, and she said, oh, the website's wrong. So I said politely, well, it's been wrong for about 2 years now. Why doesn't someone change it? She kind of looked at me and said, that's a good idea. We should. And then she mentioned to one of the others, she said in Filipino, like, we could change what's on the website. And she looked, well, just stuff like that. And you think, you walk out there thinking, Christ, did that really just happen? Had they not thought of that? It's just, anyway, I don't know. This is not being anti-Filipino in any shape or form. I think they're great people. They are fun people. But they do seem to struggle, some of them, with the simplest of tasks. And that's the reality, fellas. Glenn, I've been used to microwave for coffee for decades. Yeah, I think it's easier than the kettle. Because when you do it in the kettle, you've always got to worry about lime scale, and I don't like leaving water in there anyway here, because you've got lots of horrible things fly around this country, and I'm always worried about things fly. I was in bed the other night and a bloody cockroach landed on my face. Oh, God, I can't stand those things. So I'm always looking and checking, has anything been in here, and I'm covering stuff up and that. So for me, you microwave coffee, you don't have to worry about has anything gone in the kettle or anything like that. You just take it out, you put the water in, you add the coffee, put it in the microwave, heat it up, put the milk, job done. I might never go back to a kettle. Glenn, ham-fisted. I had a female cousin who was a breaker. Yeah, well, hopefully Katie's not went on it her whole life. I think it's just because she's younger, isn't she? So, you know, she's young. Trevor Harvey, customer service is bad because of low education, no training and no logical thinking, like primary school kids serving you. Yes, it is. But as I say, I think the element is, I mean, I knew a guy who came over here originally who said he was going to start customer training school. He said, because he noticed the customer service was so bad. And I said to him, are you sure no one's thought of that? And then I mentioned it to a couple of bar owners who I knew that this guy was thinking about doing that. And they all said, saying, don't bother, it's pointless, you know, you just spend your whole time. I mean, that's the mistake they make in the Philippines. Some people are very entrepreneurial and some people are very clever here. So you will get some amazing bar staff. I knew a couple in Siquijor, and one of them's opened his own bar now, and he's doing very well for himself, John D, and good luck to him. But he was getting the same pay as the other people in the bar. And I said to the bar owners there, I knew him, I said, because when he was leaving, I said, you can't lose him. He said, oh, we can get someone else. I said, no, but you'll never get anyone as good as him. You've got to try and keep him. And that's just what's happened to the restaurants here. You'll get some very good cooks. And if you've got a good cook in a restaurant, in a bar here, other restaurants and bars will find out about it. And they will go in and they will poach them and say, why don't you come and work for me? And when that happens, the bars do not do anything to try and keep them. And that's the thing, you can get some good staff, but when you've got them, you've got to look after them. I don't understand why they won't do that here, and that is a problem. So not everyone's right, you get some great ones, but the great ones are not rewarded. They get the same as the mediocre ones.
Did you say thank you already?
Say thank you for what?
Joe Ford and Jack Star?
I haven't seen anything, what for? Ellen's saying I should be saying thank you for something. I will say thank you in a second when I get to it. I've not got up to the thing. I met a guy in Mobile recently with a Hammer shirt on. There is a few of us around, mate. We are one of the teams, mate. I tell you now. I've said it the other day. It's not me being big-headed. I think a lot of it is because of the films. You know, Green Street, and I can't remember the other ones, but you know, yeah. In America, I spent a lot of time in America. It amazed me how many West Ham fans I bumped into. I never really bumped into any Thais in Thailand who supported West Ham. They were all Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool for obvious reasons. But in Pattaya, you bump into them all the time. And here, I've got a few West Ham. Well, I met 3 at the weekend. I didn't know they were West Ham fans until I got talking to them. But you know, we're about, and we tend to move. And I think West Ham fans tend to be more likely to wear a West Ham shirt maybe than some other clubs. But I'm not saying we're the biggest, but we are everywhere. Like Celtic, you'll always see Celtic out and about and doing stuff. Wow, Adam Fenty, now I need to research Ladyboys as well. I hope my search results take me to the proper sites. Adam Fenty, criticism, even constructive criticism, doesn't seem to be welcomed in the Philippines. I think the core issues come down to education and values they do. Oh, now, Joe Ford, thank you very much. You didn't need to do that, Joe. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I didn't thank you before. I hadn't seen it until just now because I'm behind Ellen. For some reason, when you do something like that, it doesn't flash up on the screen on my phone. So Ellen's seen that I hadn't. Well, she's more ahead on the chat. But thank you, brother. That's very kind of you. Much appreciated. Jackstar, thank you very much, Jackstar. You didn't have to do that either, buddy, but thank you very much. Much appreciated, chaps. You honestly don't need to do that. I enjoy having a chat with you, chaps, but he's very, very grateful for it. Very much appreciated. Jackstar is coming over here at some stage, so I will make it up to him. Get yourself over here as well, Joe. We'll have a beer, mate. Joe Ford, I love it in the fields. Very raw country, but great people. And it suits me. Yeah, I'm the same, mate. I keep getting people in the comments, and they're like, you know, I don't know why you're putting yourself through this. You know, it's only a matter of time before you come back to Thailand and that. And I think, you know, I don't know what they think the thinking is. I like it here. Of course, the brownouts and that are annoying or whatever, but the place has a charm. You know, it is what it is. My next video is going to be about that, actually, because I had a friend who's given up today. He's gone, although now he's messaging me saying he's come back in a few weeks, and I was having a chat with him about it the other day, and I was trying to explain to him what he was doing wrong and why he wasn't enjoying it here, but he wasn't receptive to it. But I will talk about that in my next video, because it is not perfect here. It is not paradise, and I don't want people to think it is. But if you come here and you do the right things in terms of, anyway, I'll talk about it on the next video. I'm going to catch up with the chat first. But thanks again, Joe. Thanks again, Jackstar. Jackstar, it's domestic breakages. That won't even come close to covering them, mate. Anyway, I'm waiting. We got Owen out the other day. I'm going to come back. The house is going to burn down. But that's going to be the next one. And the way our landlord is, I tell you, I'm straight on a flight out of the country before he bans me from leaving. And he's looking at me like that. But Joe Ford, how long? Jackstar, Joe Ford, how long you been there, buddy? Adam Fenton, lifting tide rises all boats. I wonder if paying one employee more causes jealousy and dissent among other employees. I'm starting to think Filipino. No, I think they're just tight. I mean, this is the thing, unfortunately, because I'm talking about expat owners here. There are so many bars here. I'm not going to name people, but some of you all know who I'm talking about. They're struggling to make money. Never buy a bar in the Philippines. It is pressure. It is, you know, you're crazy if you do it. Says, oh, I'll have bought one next week. But they just start watching the pennies and they don't get it. I mean, there is a bar here which is the best bar in terms of entertainment and things, I think. It's where I spend a lot of my time. But the food there is awful. And it used to be really good. And there's a restaurant which is open. I'm not naming people because the local. I've got some locals who watch this. They'll know what I'm talking about. I don't want to upset anyone. But one of the chefs there has gone and opened another restaurant, and the food there is fantastic. And that other place is now really suffering. And all that Blah needs to do is get some chefs in, some really good chefs, poach them from somewhere else, and the place could take off. But they're constantly counting the pennies because they're losing money and they can't see it that way. And I totally get why they can't, but it's just, you know, you've got to not have that mindset over here. Says the guy who's never owned a bar, but I think you know what I mean. But yeah, these are expats. I mean, if you're worried about paying them, you promote them, don't you? I mean, you just give them a different role. You know, you make them head barman or head this or whatever. You know, it's Joe Ford, a few months only, Jack, but beginning to settle now, living in Rwanda, Cebu at the moment. So was that your first time here, Joe, then? I mean, you say a few months. So what is your history then, apart from being an iron? Have you, why are you here, girlfriend? Or what? Tell us your story. I'll be very interested to know. Jack started Joe Ford. Where were you before? You're asking the same question I asked, Jack. I should be a bit quicker with it, shouldn't I? Where are you before that? Has it been a bit of a shock or all good? Ken McCulkin, since I don't have Facebook anymore, who do I contact for rental near Duma? I wouldn't contact anyone, mate. I did ask around when you were first coming, but the trouble is people have asked me to help with that before, and then like yourself, no offence, but you didn't come. And the thing is, it's a dog-eat-dog world here, in a sense. A place will come up, and if it's a good place, it will go, just like that. No one is going to hold it for a while for someone else, unless you send them a deposit. And if you send them a deposit, you're an idiot, because this is the Philippines. So my advice to you would be, mate, when you're coming here, get on Airbnb and book a place for a month, and look me up, and I will help you find somewhere. You know, there will be somewhere. I mean, it is literally a case of, you know, you can look on Facebook and you can find places, Marketplace. But if you spread the word, there is always someone looking to rent something. And the good places go quickly. So, yeah, if you come here and you want to stay here, but come here first and rent for a couple of months to be sure that you do. Because I say, my mate's just gone, it's not for him. And he thought he was going to stay here for X amount, and now he's left after 2 months. There's a couple of guys I'm talking about now. But yeah, you just rent an Airbnb, you look for places and you ask around, and there will be places. But it's pointless doing it until you actually get here and have got boots on the ground, so to speak. In my opinion, for what it's worth. Adam Frente, Filipinos are definitely some of the most loving people I have ever met, but life is for sure harder in the Philippines. Yeah, it's trying. It will always throw something at you. But I say I'm quite lucky in the sense that I don't have any, you know, we can do things. If the brownout goes out, we can book in a hotel. You know, I've got used to the brownouts now. You know, it's not such a hardship. We had a brownout the other day when I did that video. So what did we do? We went into town. I went to Sideways. I had a couple of beers and a cooked breakfast. Ellen went to McDonald's with Kayla. They did a bit of shopping. We came home and the power was back on. You know, it's not the end of the world. It would have been the end of the world if we'd come back and the power hadn't been on. But then we'd have just had a crapper night and we'd have booked an hotel the next day. You know what I mean? It's Joe Ford recently retired, was in Jomtien, Thailand for a few months, but now in the fields because of romantic interest. Whereabouts in Jomtien were you staying, mate? And what did you retire from? I'm taking you, and you're an Iron as well, so whereabouts? Are you actually from London or are you from home counties, or what's your story? There you go, I said I'd only do an hour. I'm on an hour 21, I can't stop when I get on here. Love to meet you for a beer and a chinwag. Well, if you're in Cebu, mate, you're not too far away. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen, mate. It's you're not far, mate. It's a flight is only an hour. A flight is only 20 minutes, and the ferry from Oslo to what's that? What's it called? Santander?
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's Iloa. It's Lower, isn't it? From Iloan to Mayo is only half an hour. If you don't make it over here, next time we go to we've not got any dates planned, but we go to Cebu, I'll look you up, mate. Jack Star, I'm going to take my trip to the fields like a tour, so 2 years is anything shorter. You're just in holiday mode, not saying stay, but use it as a base. That's the way you've got to do it, mate. As you know, that was my plan. You're a wise man, Jack Star. That's exactly what my plan was when I came here. And your plans never work out the way they are, but I knew I would have to come here for 2 years before I knew if it was for me. And my plan was to spend 4 to 6 months on a few islands until I found the place that was right for me. And I got here and I decided it wasn't for me. So I moved to Sigior. Decided that wasn't for me. Came back here, the plan of staying for a month or two and then trying somewhere else. And then it was for me. You know, and now I love it here. It's you know, but you've got to make a commitment. You've got to try and hold on a second. If I carry on talking now, I'll get behind on the chats again. Ken McCullum, must be bad slow service why people are leaving. Why people are leaving where? Leaving the Philippines? Sorry, Ken, I'm not sure what we're talking about there, but I don't think people are leaving the Philippines. Born in Barking, retired bricklayer. Good man, salt of the earth. There you go. That's there you go. We are from the same neck of the woods, or very similar anyway, very close. James Campbell, I find it a little funny that people say I'm in Jomtien opposed to Pattaya, more because it sounds like you're not in Pattaya. No, it's not that. It's not that at all. When I first moved there, I lived in Pattaya. I just lived off Soy Diamond for the first 3 months, and I hated it. And I moved to Jomtien and I liked it. But then after 4 or 5 months in Jomtien, I got bored. But no, I don't think people, I mean, you might look at it that way, but I think Jomtien is Jomtien. It is, what I like about Jomtien is it's not as full on as Pattaya. You know, if you want to go into Pattaya, it's like 15 minutes on the back bus. But no, and I know what you're saying. You are suggesting that people say Jomtien because they don't want the sex tourist label put on them. But that's not why I say it. I say it because I think if you say you live in Jomtien, it is a different thing. You know, I'm not in the dark side. I just like Jomtien. I mean, to me, Jomtien is a nice place to live. The beach is nice. You've got a lot of nice restaurants there. And it is quiet and it's more relaxed. I mean, the thing about Jomtien is there are less tourists there. And that's what I liked about it. It is more, there's more of an expat community there. And it's a much slower pace. When I lived in Pattaya, it was all tourists. You know, the place I stayed in an apartment. And some people were long stay there. But a lot of the people were, you know, there for a week off. Well, they drove me nuts. I don't like it when you get talking to someone and they're flying out the next week or whatever. So I hear what you're saying, but that's not why I say Jomtien. Joe Ford, I'll keep you to that, Simon, but not back till late July. Yeah, they'll keep me to it, mate. I hope you do. Looking forward to meeting you. I stayed in a condo, the back of Wombo Market. Okay, nice. I do miss the condo life, I must admit. I stayed in the, I can't think what it's bloody called now, Laguna Bay. Laguna Bay, was it the 1 or 2? Laguna Bay 1. And I loved it there. We had a little wave machine and that, and the apartment was nice. You know, I got bored with Jomtien. I was happier up in the mountains in Phetchabun, but I did like my condo. It was a nice little place. And I like the convenience. I wish they had condos like that in the Philippines, but they just don't. The condos here are much smaller, and the condos in Dumaguete are awful. I mean, the complex where they run and the security and that, it's just crap. But if I move back to Thailand now, I'd definitely move back to Jomtien for a few months. I don't know, I'd probably go up to Chiang Mai or Pitsanulo, but I don't have any plans to go back. I'm saying I have fond memories of Jomtien. Not a fan of Pattaya. Adam Fenton, I have only been to Bangkok, stayed for a month. I wonder if I would enjoy Pattaya if I avoid alcohol and women. Well, no, I prefer Pattaya to Bangkok. The thing I like about Pattaya is I was never a sex tourist. Now, whether this Campbell guy believes it or not, I don't care. But what I liked about it was the fact that you've got so many sex tourists over there, and they're really happy to be there. So there's a nice buzz. You know, you could go down, you could go to a beer bar and that, you get talking to a load of guys who are as happy as they've ever been because they've been looking forward to their holiday all year. And it is a party atmosphere, and it's great, and it's got a buzz about it, Pattaya, which is fantastic. And it's got some lovely restaurants, and it's, you know, it's great in many ways. But equally, it's a dirty, seedy place. And when you've lived there for a period of time, you can't help but get embroiled in these disputes, and there's a lot of deceit there, and there's a lot of sharks, and it's like, you know, a lot of suicides. And the place can drag you down, which is why I like Jomtien. But equally, a lot of the expats over there, I didn't like as much as the expats over here, because most of the expats over here are a lot more family orientated and a lot more genuine. I had quite a few expat friends in Pattaya, but you've always got to be on your guard in Pattaya. You can't trust people. You're always waiting for someone to ask if they can borrow some money, or there'll be a scam. And I've spoken about it before. I know a couple of people who were killed while I was over there, and you know, a couple of people who got ripped off by friends and things. It's a cutthroat place, Pattaya, and it is what it is. It's fun for a weekend, but I wouldn't want to live there. I don't want to live in Jomtien again. I'd go there for a month. I'd take Ellen to Jomtien, but I wouldn't want to live there for the reasons I've said just now. But compared to Pattaya, think about you know, Bangkok's great. I like the Khe Sanh Road. I had some great nights out there, but it's very spread out. And I know they've got the, you know, the metro and that, but it's like living in any city. You've got to go here, and you've got to go there, and you've got to go there, and you're always travelling and that. You know, what I liked about when I lived in Pattaya in Soi Diamond, I could just get up and I could walk out my room, and I was, you know, I was literally 1 minute walk, and I was banging Walking Street, and, you know, everything was within reach. The bars I used to go to, etc. What I liked about Jomtien was where I lived, I could literally just walk out my house, walk 200 metres, and there was a bar complex where a couple of bars I used to go and play pool. Some people I knew there, I could have a drink with them. There were several restaurants within a couple of 100 metres, which were good restaurants. And if I wanted to go into Pattaya, I just walked 300 metres up to the main drag and jump on a bump bus, and I'm in Pattaya. You know, it was, you know, in 15 minutes. Perfect. You know, that's what I like. That's what I like about Dumaguete. You know, we can sit here in Bekong, and it's like we're living in a province. But if we need anything, I need to go shopping, I want to go and meet a friend for a beer, whatever, I jump on my scooter, I'm there within 15 minutes into Dumaguete. Tonight, Ellen wanted a couple of things from the market and that, she's been cooking. Just jump on the scooter, we're at Bekong Market, it takes 2 minutes, you know what I mean? It's convenient. SMH Indonesia, welcome. I think it's your first comment of the night, isn't it? I missed the PH. Subic was there a few years ago, reactivated, 2 drilling rigs, great times. Yeah, I've heard good things about Subic. It does not sound like it's the place for me, but I know a lot of people that love it there. I've never been, but I've seen a few vlogs on it, and it does not. It's not my kind of place. I like to live a bit more. I don't know. It seems a bit too westernised for me, Subic. But I know they've got great power supply. You don't have the brownouts and all that rest there. And there's lots of nice accommodation because of the base, but not for me. Joe Ford. I stayed in the Grusset Band Part 1. That's nice. That's nice, Grusset Band. Very nice. Very nice. Month rental, presumably. And that's a nice place, that is. I've been there. I've never stayed there, but I've been there. Jack, so SMH Indonesia. Nice one, pal. Simon, did you go on to any of the islands in Thailand? No, I am awful like that. I'm not one for travelling. Because I take the view I'm not on holiday mode. It's like we've had a few trips here and I've not really enjoyed them. I'd rather, so no, I didn't. I've been to, I can't remember what the island's called now. I've been to Little Island just off the coast of Pattaya. Not much goes on there, but no, I've not been to any of the islands. If I went, I would go to Koh Samui. I haven't heard particularly great things about. I can't think of the place now where Tim Rice lives. Not Tim Rice. Tim Newton. What's it called? Phuket. I've been told Koh Samui is the best one to go to, so I would probably go there. I had a friend that used to live there. Pie's supposed to be nice. Well, there's lots of, but no, I haven't, mate. No, I was very much a mainland man because I wanted to live like a Thai. You know, they're all tourist places. Once I left Jomtien, the reason I stayed in Phetchabun so long was because I like living like a Thai, you know, in rural Thailand, being a novelty. And that's why when I split up eventually, I jumped on the opportunity to move to Buriram, Ranui, because it was just, again, it was, you know, there were, I think, I don't know, in our village are probably 4 other expats, in a village of about 1,000 people. You know, I like it like that. Well, I did like it like that then. What about you, Jack? Have you been to many of the islands? Adam Funte, yeah, finding the perfect setup takes time. I would stay single in Duma, but it seems like a great place if you have a partner. See, you shouldn't have said that, Jack. So I've lost track of the number of people who say, I will stay single in Duma. They never do. And the ones who say they're looking for a girlfriend, they stay single for a while. It's the way it is. But you should do. But there's no, listen, you can stay single here. There are lots of women here who are looking for casual fun. I'm not talking about paying for it and that. You can sow your oats here and have a good time. You don't have to get into a relationship if you don't want to. There's no need to. So you'll like it. But you know, you'll enjoy it here, and equally there's lots of places to go to, you know, but yeah, anyway. Joe Ford, got a rubber tree farm near Udon Thani, long story, live in Pats for a while, many contracts around the world, back in Blighty, been UIC, we've got daughters, a few things sorted out there before India. James Campbell, yes, I like Jomtien better as well, as I'm not a drinker and at all the same age as you. People rarely or never describe the suburb there when referring to Bangkok or Manila. Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, they just say Bangkok. But yeah, I see what you're saying. And maybe that is why I say Jomtien. But strictly speaking, Jomtien is a separate place, isn't it? I mean, it's got its own, it is a separate place. But I hear what you're saying, brother. Joe Ford, interesting life, Jack. I like Udon Thani. Good vibe there. Well, there you go. Jack Star speaks very highly about it. I've never been, but I wish I had done. I say if I ever end up back in Thailand, you'll never catch me living on an island there. I'm not really a beach guy. I liked in Jomtien there was a beach and it was nice to walk up and down it, but I only appreciated it when I was leaving. The last week I went out on that beach every day and I walked up and down and I thought, if I was staying here longer term, I'd do it. But here, I mean, the beach ain't great, this one in Bekong, but the beach is literally 2 or 3 minutes from here on a scooter. And often I say to myself, I'll go down and catch the sunrise. You don't get sunsets here. The sunsets are in the mountains and they're gorgeous. But I've never done it. You know, so, you know, the places I would live or plan to live if I went back there wouldn't be beaches. I say it would be Chiang Rai, Chiang Mai, maybe Pitsanulo, Udon Thani maybe. I had some people I used to know over there, not well, but just people I met in Pattaya, who loved it up there. Been there a while and loved it. Jack Star said good things about it. And I've seen a couple of vlogs. What appealed to me about it was it's not really a tourist place, but you can get apartments, condos there, nice looking ones. Because there's not that many cities you can do that in. It's like Pitsanulo. There are only a few like apartment blocks there, and they're not particularly great. You've got a lot of choice in Chiang Mai, but you know, one of the good things about the Philippines is practically every town you go to, no matter how small, will have a few expats there, and there always seem to be properties for rent. Not like so much in Thailand. You know, it can be damn hard to find places in the smaller towns or cities, and a lot of places that just don't have an expat community at all. Jack Star, Koh Chang for a month. I'm definitely looking for a girlfriend in Duma. And how far away from the beach are you? Why are you not closer to the beach? Well, I'm not closer to the beach because, well, we are close to the beach. I just said it's like it's a couple of minutes tops. Just because I don't really want to be closer to the beach. I mean, to be closer to the beach, you've got to pay a premium. There aren't that many things available. More importantly, I don't want the storms and that coming in and the flooding and all the rest of it. It's like, you know, when the weather is bad here, the last thing you want to do is be bang smack on the beach. And the beaches in Bekong, it's not great. It's like the beach in Darwin. I did a vlog the other day. I mean, you know, that's probably the best bit. I mean, basically, we are about half a kilometre from the main nautical road, which is where the beach is. So you can drive down there, you're on the beach. So it'll take me a couple of minutes tops to get there. And if you turn right and you head up towards Darwin Way, the beaches get a bit better, but they're not great if you turn left. But the Nautical Highway Road literally goes around the whole circumference of Negros. And so there's always beaches. It's just the beaches here are not as picturesque as the beaches in say, Sikihor, for example, or some of the ones in Cebu. But I say, I mean, you go down to Darwin is 10-minute drive from here. Lots of beaches there. It's where most of the Filipinos go. I mean, there are beaches here. I'm just not really a beach guy. Last time I was on the beach was probably last week, the week before. We had a barbecue, but I didn't go in the sea or anything. It's not really my thing. So in answer to your question, because there aren't a lot of rental properties, and the big thing about the properties is here, you get less for your buck when you're on the beach, because obviously people want that, but that's not the reason I've not done it. It's you're invariably living with other expats. You know, you'll get these little complexes by the beach and they're all expats living there. And I don't want to live with expats. I like to be able to go into town and see people and have a laugh and that. I don't really want to live next to expats where you're in the situation where, like, you know, in the morning you're going around each other's house for coffee and that kind of thing. Just because I like to get away from things, if that makes sense. Joe Ford, many expats in Udon. I can't answer that question, Jack. Can Joe Ford? Yeah, good vibe to bear, to be honest. And funny, any planning any trips in the coming months? Not around the Philippines, mate. Adam, no. We keep talking about Thailand at some stage, but no Philippines trips planned at the moment. Well, I tell you what, chaps, I think I'm going to knock it on the head now, because it's been quite a while and I've not had my din-dins yet. We rushed back from the market. Eleanor's cooked a lovely chicken dinner with rice, and she does this really nice barbecue chicken in like a chili and what do you call that? What do you call that thing you've made? That red thing?
I don't know.
But anyway, it's like she fries these chicken pieces and then she coats them, and it's like they're like chicken wings, but she does like a buffalo wings in this spicy red sauce, and they're bloody lovely. So I'm going to have some of them now. But I know no more comments. Right, here we are. People say goodbye. Have a great evening. Bon appetit. Thank you, Glenn. Been a pleasure, Mucker, as always. Top man. Thanks, mate. Appreciate the super chat. If that's what it's called. As always, Jack Star, very kind of you. Joe Ford, nice to chat to you all. Thanks, mate. Appreciate again. Thanks, Joe, for the old super chat. Very much appreciated, mate. Glad you all enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I do love doing these little talks on a Tuesday. I look forward to them, to be honest with you. And I may do some more impromptu ones. I think, that one went quite well this morning. So, if you're bored, I'm online. You're very welcome to. If you're bored and I'm online, very welcome to join us and have a chat. Thanks, fellas. Mucho gracias. Whatever you're doing, wherever you are, stay safe, be lucky.